What is up, guys? Today we're gonna talk, react to and talk about, obviously Kevin Samuels' death again. But this time we're gonna take a look at Tyrone Magnus's video, one of Tyrone Magnus's video today, and it's titled "Kevin Samuels' friend defends his legacy reaction." So it seems like he's gonna take a look at one of Kevin Samuels' friends of, I guess, he answering questions and here and there, give his, you know, basically defend his legacy of who Kevin Samuel was and here and there. So he's going to take a look at that. He's going to give his thoughts. Then after that, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on his legacy and how I feel like Kevin Samuel, who he really is. I mean, technically, I already explained it at the first, when I gave my condolences to Kevin Samuels, which is, I just can't believe he's gone to this very day. So, and I thought about reacting to the 911 phone call, but I chose not to because, it's kind of, it's bothering, I don't think any of you guys, whether, especially for me, as as a YouTuber, since I would probably react to shit like this, I don't think I would want to see or hear the struggle that the nurse had to go through to try to keep Captain Samuels alive while the ambulance was on their way. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I would feel uncomfortable. It made me feel uncomfortable seeing that. So with me reacting to it, no, it's not really my gig. But but at the same time, I don't mind talking about stuff that's going on in the YouTube world and shit like that. So in this case, Kevin Samuel is a YouTuber and Tyrone Madness is a YouTuber, so I don't mind talking about, you know, stuff like this. You know what I mean? So without further ado, guys, let's see what this man has to say, or these two men has to say, because he's gonna react to, Davis. I think his name is it Davis Sterlings or some shit like that? If I mispronounce your name, sir, I apologize. But yeah, let's just take a look at this video.
Welcome to Wild World News.
Wild World News.
What is happening back in the sites? So,
Yeah.
Dennis Sperling, Mr. Brother.
My heart is pounding.
Kevin Samuels, man.
And it's pounding because
straight the past few days
to talk about
situations.
And
sometimes
sometimes it's hard to talk about with people that you admire and you respect and you look up to as like a mentor or godfather or whatever, then they pass away because you know how much they impact you, your livelihood. So sometimes it can be tough.
Welcome to the Factor Uncensored. Controversial YouTube star Kevin Samuels has died from an apparent heart attack, according to a friend we talked to tonight. We broke the news to you here on the Factor last night. Samuels is best known for dishing out some very controversial relationship advice, but coming down extremely hard, some say on black women specifically. Take a listen.
Your running back size. You can hit the A gap like a.
Yeah, alright.
So don't come in here talking about what men should not be able to do when they gotta accept somebody who can run out the power I. Like I'm talking.
5'4".
Dress size.
6.
That's your picture.
That's my picture.
How recent is
That's a 10-year-old picture. But I still
beautiful women don't have 10-year-old pictures, man.
Now tonight, a Houston attorney and Big T and good friend of Samuels is on the Factor. That attorney, as of this evening,
That's funny how they only show those clips.
Yeah, just to make him look like a bad guy. All because he tells the truth.
I got to know Kevin because I podcast Dennis Sperling on YouTube.
Dennis Sperling, okay. I got your name, sir. I got your name correctly now. Dennis Sperling.
He popped up on a mutual friend's podcast and we began to talk. He then invited me to his Facebook.
And by the way, the way how I known who Kevin Samuel was from Tyrone Magnus, because I'm a fan of Tyrone Magnus, so I hear him talking about Kevin Samuels every now and then. So I wanted to figure out who he really was, and I looked him up, and as I watched his videos or his live streams, I learned a few things about this guy, man. I learned a few things about relationships and shit like that. I mean, I learned it from Tyrone himself, and of course my experience and everything else. But watching Kevin Samuels, I learned pretty good. I learned even more. I don't agree everything that the man has says. It's like I don't agree everything that he says, but at the end of the day, a lot of what he said made a lot of sense. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
For some, he was brutally honest. For others, he was brutally cruel. Where would you stand in describing your friend? And I say that because you actually had a relationship with him. You knew him, and it led to your fiance. So how would you describe what your friend did?
Well, for those people who think he was cruel, people who've been lied to their whole lives, they see the truth as cruelty. Kevin Samuels was accurate. He backed his statements up with facts from the CDC reports. In the black community alone, 80% of the women have children out of wedlock. And that's being sired by 20% of the men. 51% of black men don't have children. 31% of black men are married and live with their wives. So that means there's about 18% of men, give or take, who siring children with these women. And so he pointed that out. He said that's why black men aren't getting married. But see, the thing about Kevin Samuels that you all don't know is that his vision, his legacy was going to expand past YouTube. He had
I could see that. I could see that because he has so much impact for a lot of people, especially marriages. I see him all the time where, he has like those Facebook groups and he helps people, men and women, come together and eventually like a week or two later they get married. So he does help people.
I didn't know he was getting paid to talk about that. Because I don't think he ever had ad or promotion in his video, but
yeah, he's an image consultant. Yeah, he's an image consultant. He has his own website and stuff like that. He has his own business. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're helping.
Now, one of the things you said was he was talking about getting yourself together, staying in shape, and that's one of the things he did, and that's why this is so shocking to so many people. Cardiac arrest, heart attack, and people trying to wrap their heads around that. This is a man who taught many people how to live better, how to eat better, and so it's kind of like, how did this happen to him?
Well, unfortunately, he basically was a one-man show.
Stress.
Every night for the past 7 years.
Stress.
Y'all didn't know him until about 2.5 years.
good, there's several factors.
For the first 5
Could have
years,
been.
he spoke to men.
Probably.
He said, you need to get yourself.
Could have been.
You're 5'5", 280 pounds, and you only make $30,000 a year. Yet you want this supermodel to be your woman. That's not going to happen. And he was cruel.
Yeah.
You want to see cruelty?
Yeah.
Look at how he
Brutal with some dudes. Brutal.
Yeah. It could be. Yeah.
I saw some of those.
Yeah.
And the dudes would call him delusional too. Sometimes.
Yeah,
just like some of the
way how he
call
said
him
it.
a little delusional.
Like it make it seem like they were like pieces of shit, which in reality they're not. He just tells you that's you going out or being married or having a relationship with a woman that's like high
For the
value,
most part,
and you're like down
dealt
here.
nicely and
It's
kept
very
it,
unlikely.
but stern with the women.
You gotta know your standard and know what you can
I
get.
don't want to speak too much beyond what the family would want to be said, but Kevin fought and conquered cancer at a very young age.
I heard about that.
Who knows what that did to him?
What that did to his body.
Mm-hmm.
But,
See?
just hanging out with him, he didn't overeat. He didn't
Probably toned his body.
stress of putting on those
Took a lot of his body.
yourself, though.
Well, I understand chemo can have long-term effects on other body parts, including the heart.
Huh? It's very possible. Or to me, it might be stress because he was holding a one-man show,
He's
so
standing there like security.
he's trying to make sure that his popularity stays on top and his business is running and everything else. So I know that can take a lot of stress in you, so that could possibly affect it as well, you know?
To me, I look at that like that was his going away party, as far as I'm concerned. Just seeing him smile and happy and relaxed and amongst friends. And my fiance was there, another young lady named Melody King was very popular YouTuber. We were all there just hanging out in Miami. It was really impromptu because he didn't tell anybody it was his birthday. We were just down here to meet. And he was like, yeah, it's my birthday. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's time to turn up, man.
So, as we wrap up, Dennis, what did he mean to you?
Well, man,
His friend, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's the truth?
And you can safely say that he was more like a mentor for he looked up to Kevin Samuels, you know, because I heard him do different videos where, you know, he basically helped, Kevin Samuels basically helped him find a woman in his life. So to him, he's more like not only a friend, but he's like a mentor. See? Yeah. It's true.
You know, he wasn't a man who was afraid to speak the truth.
Yeah.
Well studied.
Yeah. And he'd be honest. That's what I respect about it, because he'd be honest and he'd tell the truth. Whether you liked it or not, you know.
And treat him like he was a child. He commanded respect. But then when you would meet him in public, man, he didn't hide. He spoke to the people. He was more gracious than any of the.
I seen that on when he go walk around on the mall and he'll talk to people, guys and girls, and sometimes he'll give advice or he'll just chat with them every now and then. He seems like a cool dude to talk to. He really does. He's just up front.
Nobody. I mean, he was a man of the people. If you ever really had a chance to be around him and sit and listen to him, you see how brilliant he was. But to me, he was a mentor. He was
see, that's it. Mentor, friend, father figure. I can't argue with that.
We're never too old for mentors.
Never.
It just depends on what we're planning on learning.
And it depends on how you want to evolve.
Now it's major talking points. We have Hollywood being affected by, so he meant a lot to
Hollywood stars is coming out talking about it, man.
Yeah.
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, I saw Marlon Wayans post. I saw him, you know, commenting on Facebook. People have respect for the guy. And why not?
He was a harbinger to what I think America needs to get back to our traditional values: family, raising children, being good citizens, being good Christians. Because he taught Bible study.
Yeah, he did.
And
yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Brought the Bible up. Could use the Bible on him. If he knew the Bible.
Yeah. He always say, "Don't bring God into this." That's
he could use the Bible on him because he was in church. You know, he grew up in the church, so I found that interesting. You know, a lot of women would call up, some women would call up.
I didn't know he grew up in church. To tell you
trying to use that.
I really didn't.
All right, now, well, wait a minute. You know, I'm
about
to get him. Yeah, I grew up with the Bible in my life, so I understood exactly everything he was talking about every single time. Now, I gotta tell you this. They started out with, you know, controversial YouTuber, and they showed a couple of clips of him being kind of brutal with people.
Yeah,
okay?
They're basically like looking like he's an asshole.
If you're anybody that watched him on the regular though, if you are a person that think he was brutal and cold and bashed people, watch about 5 of his live streams. They're 2 to 3 hours long. You got something to do. Watch about 5 of them in a row.
Exactly.
Okay, over the next few days.
Right.
And tell me you still think the same.
Yeah.
I don't think you will, unless you're just a hater.
I don't think anybody would.
Because
they just go through, watch the 22
even
minutes
when that first
video,
clip came out,
not the full-length couple-hour video.
When you watch that whole thing, she rated herself average at best. So he was basically saying, listen, you're average at best, and you're looking for this, and you're this. You can't, that he was explaining it to her. And several times in his videos, he will say to certain women that are a little delusional on their aspects of where they are, whether they're white, Hispanic, or black. You would hear him say, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being rude.
Yeah, or disrespectful.
He would say that a lot.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to hurt people's feelings.
No.
But there were certain people who will call in who were very insistent about who they thought they were, and they were going to push and push and push.
And they get ignorant.
And a lot of times he pushed back. And I mean, that's what he became popular for.
Yeah,
but
they call people out on their bullshit. That's what I hear him always say.
You stayed for the
Calling
truth.
people out on their bullshit.
You would wait for certain ignorant people to call up so he would get them. You know what I mean?
Which was funny in a way.
The majority of the time he was
basically making an ass of himself.
An educated, mature
and speaks on both women and men. He does
about
it to both.
certain issues surrounding the dating life. Dating. That's what it was all about. So,
dating and marriage.
You know, when I see people saying stuff, oh, it was karma and this and that, and I heard him say something like, or to the aspect of, no, get it right with what he said, and also get it right in the context of how he said it, what he said before he said it, and what he said after he said it. I'm not saying the man was perfect. I watched a ton of his videos.
Nobody's
and there were a few
I'm
times
not perfect. He's not
while
perfect.
I listened to him, I was like, you ain't have to say that, bro. You ain't even have to
and they
talk
change
to
that
me
to
like
lying.
that.
Either they're lying or they just talking with their confidence.
But I only thought that to myself maybe 3 or 4 times. Out of all the shows that I watched with him, I never, like the majority of the time, I was like, he's on point. He's on point. He's on point. Just listening to the whole conversation between him and the women or him and the men. For those of y'all saying he bashed women, go watch the stuff with the men.
Yeah. As I said, he does both. I see him do both. I see him do both.
I'm just like, man. I asked y'all the other day, y'all want me to start doing Magnus Answers again where I answer y'all questions? I'm going to start doing it again.
Oh, that's good.
Make sure you send them to TyroneMagnusFanmail@gmail.com and I will answer your questions video. And I'm like, damn. Yeah. I'm like, I never went this hard on people. Yeah. And y'all, people, I've gotten letters over the years.
He's still like that. Sometimes he's like, he takes back to what he says little by little, and because you don't want to hurt people's feelings and stuff like that.
A lot of times. But sometimes, and maybe even a lot of times,
like he uses a lot of sugar. Sometimes, every now and then, he uses vinegar, as he will point out.
Sometimes, you need that abrasiveness. I'm going to tell you who he reminds me of. He reminds me of that grandparent, that old man or old woman that's old and experienced enough and you respect enough that they can tell you something very, like your grandmama see you, you come over the house, they're like, oh, you getting fat, what's getting, and you like, grandma, you know what I mean, but you're like, I'm never going to speak to you again, grandmother. You are so abrasive. Oh, you bashed me. Yeah. Your grandma, she showed you a mirror. Yeah. Your grandpa, what you need to do is get up and get a damn job and wash your ass and get a damn haircut. And then maybe you pull a woman. You know what I'm saying? Abrasive, telling the truth, but they saying it because they love you. Yeah. Grandmama don't want you to get too fat.
That's what it's called. It's called tough love.
That rhyme don't have to play the game. Bars. So that's why I viewed him. I viewed him like that. That uncle, that grandfather. I'm in his age bracket. I'm 44.
Same here.
And he was, 56 or so. I keep getting confused. There's so many people saying, 53, 56, 57, 53, 54, whatever.
He probably was in his late 50s.
So, he's 54. He got 10 years on me. He's like an older brother type. But we're in that same bracket. So, a lot of the things you spoke on, I already knew about, but there was a few things that I was like, yo, I like this, because he comes with a lot of numbers. Even though I know not every single statistic can be counted on as fact, and he used black website statistics too. And there were certain other things that he knew about, unrelated to dating. I mean, not dating, but related to dating that I didn't know. So I definitely like to listen.
Yeah.
I can always learn something from someone.
Yeah.
Always.
You never know what to learn. Like I said earlier, I mean,
things I knew,
he pointed out some of the things that I didn't know about and I learned it from.
I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right about this. You're right about that. Was he 100% right? No. Like I said, I agree with around 95% of what the man said. Some of the stuff, no. But I have friends like that.
Yeah.
I have family like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we agree with most of that. There's some stuff I don't
agree,
with you.
disagree, but you still love each other.
You're still my brother. You're still my friend. And people out there celebrating his death, showing the true evil they're harboring in their heart. That's bad. That's real bad.
What you gonna do?
You know what I'm saying? So
that's what happens in social media, man. It's like in person.
Post comments down below. Let me know what you
there's
all
assholes
thought.
and there's
Make
good
sure
people.
you subscribe to Dennis Sperling. And I will see you guys in the next video. And as usual, these past few days, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels.
Woo! Alright, guys. Well, there you got it. You know, yeah, it's true, man. You know, I agree. Listen, to me, I agree. I don't agree with everything that Kevin Samuels says. And just because I don't agree to certain things that he says doesn't mean I'm not going to watch his content. That just makes no sense. And honestly, like I said before, you know, there are certain things that he has said on his live streams where I think to myself, and I was like, you know what? That's actually kind of true. And makes a lot of sense. So I learned a few things from him that I didn't know about. Just like I learned a few things from him that I didn't know about. Do I agree everything that this guy has said? No. Like sometimes I can see him, like when he does a Q&A, sometimes, a lot of times, he doesn't really, he sugarcoats a lot of things. So sometimes he like to be kind of, you don't want to hurt a lot of people's feelings and here and there. You know, but hey man, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do so that way you understand, like, look, you know, you're here and the woman you want is over here. Okay? The point of being, especially what Kevin Samuels was trying to tell you is, if you want to be right here, if you want to have this type of woman, you need to build up, you know, you need to work on yourself so you can be on a similar level, or you can have the similar level right here. You can have this, you know, as you can be in a similar boat as, you know, this woman here, you know. So if you're looking for a high value woman, you need to step your game up. You know, you gotta, you know, whether it's money, your looks, health, whatever it is, you gotta, you know, step up your game, you know, so that way you can meet the standards that you want. See, those are what you call goals. Like, your goal is you want to be high value, so you gotta be with a high value woman, so you work your way up towards that. That to me was the message he was bringing up for both guys and women. Like, if you want to have a high value man, well, you gotta work your way towards that, you know, because, you know, you gotta know what your standards are, whether you're out of shape or whether, you know, you don't have the looks. You need to fix up your image, whether it's financial well-being, whatever it is, you have to fix it up. You know, and nobody's perfect, right? But the key thing is that you learn and you evolve. Just like for me, I try to learn and I try to evolve as much as I can, because, you know, I'm 24, I'll be 25, so, you know, you learn as you grow, and I always want to be better and be the ultimate version of myself. You know what I mean? That's what, you know, like as Kevin Samuels and Tyrone Malik would say, be the ultimate version. Be the best, be the ultimate version of yourself. And that's where I try to be, you know. And although I'm not there quite yet, but eventually one day I will, you know. No matter how long it takes me, as long as You know, as long as I improve little by little, I get there. And that's where I see it from, Kevin Samuels. You know, I don't agree a lot of things, like, you know, for instance, like, I don't agree on things where, like, like, people, men should be allowed, or high value men should be allowed to cheat, which is, I don't agree, because, to me, I mean, it wouldn't be fair and it wouldn't be right, because that tells you, like, your love for this woman. And the same thing applies for a woman. Like, it wouldn't be right for a woman to cheat on a man, so how come it's right for a man to cheat on a woman? You know what I mean? And there are among other things where I don't agree in certain things, but again, I don't think I would have watched this video or I'm gonna talk shit, you know. And like I said, I have respect for Kevin Samuel because he tells the truth. You know who he reminds me of? I know a lot of you guys probably don't like him, but he reminds me of Trump. And I love Trump not because of his political view, but because he be honest with himself and he tells the truth. And I mean, how can you not respect that? To me, a lot of people don't like that because they just don't want to hear the truth. Like, when Kevin Samuels, when he put men and women on the spot, a lot of times they don't like to hear the truth because it's the way how they say it, the way how he said it. But hey, sometimes saying to you nicely doesn't always work. So yeah, it's a shame that this man had passed away. I'm glad that Tyrell Maddox is doing back his answer again if he really is. Like I said before, if you haven't looked at Best Friend Zone, basically I'm the guy who he basically was giving advice from because let's just say that I done a lot of crazy shit in high school and maybe I'll bring it up one day, maybe. But yeah, let's just say, Tyrone, if you're watching this video, let's just say I evolved ever since then. Like, I changed a lot ever since that day. And that day I was 18 years old, so I'm 24. So, yeah, and I'm still learning. So, you never stop learning. If somebody tells you that they learned everything in this world, they're lying to you because you can never learn everything all in one shot. You just like you evolve as a person, you evolve your mindset. You learn things in life, okay? And not everybody's perfect, but you be the best person you can be. Be the ultimate version of yourself. Be the best person you can possibly be. So yeah, man. And I watched a couple of Kevin Samuels' stream ever since then. I mean, I watch it every now and then, here and there, because I got a lot. I run the YouTube videos and here and there, so I can't keep track of what's really going on. But ever since he passed away, it made me want to watch it even more. I hope that it just doesn't, his YouTube channel doesn't get taken down for whatever reason. Because I think his message should stay there forever. Like, his YouTube channel should stay there forever, so that way if people feel like they need some advice or stuff like that, or they feel they're not too sure, whatever, they can always look at his video or his stream. So, that way they remember of what this man has said, and they can take away from that video whether they agree to it or they disagree to it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. So, and honestly, like, you cannot change people of what they see from that particular person. That's just who they are. You can't, there's nothing you can do. Everybody's gonna think their own way. Everybody's gonna think, well, he's a piece of shit, Kevin Samuels is a piece of shit, or he's a nice dude, or whatever. You can't change the way you can't change their perspective. The only perspective you can change is yourself. So, I don't worry about it. His legacy, Kevin Samuels' legacy speaks for itself, and it ain't going nowhere. And as far as I'm concerned, people are gonna remember him for quite a while, because the way how he impacted so many people, especially with their marriage and dating and shit like that. So, as I once said, rest in peace, Mr. Samuels. You know, you touched a lot of people, man. You really did. You know, it's a shame that you passed away so soon. I think to me it was more like it could probably be chemo. It could, but it could also be stress. You know, because they tell you like if you put so much stress in your body, like if you have so much stress mentally, then that can cause heart problems and high blood pressures and shit like that. So my grandfather is a perfect example. My grandfather, the more stress he puts inside mentally, the more the high blood pressure goes up and he started developing illness or diabetes and shit like that. So it could possibly be maybe through stress. Who knows? Nobody knows. The only person that probably knows is maybe his nurse and people that are close to him. So we won't know for sure. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Kevin Samuels, and what do you guys? What's the good memory you remember of Kevin Samuels? Let me know in the comments below. I don't want to see any negative comments in the Kevin Samuels or anything like that. I mean, if you disagree, that's fine, but don't be like, oh, he's you're an asshole if if you're a fan of him, or you're just as idiot as he was, and because obviously your comments will be banned. Well, you'll be banned yourself, and your comments will not appear. So, just think of good thoughts. How about that? And if you enjoy my reaction / thoughts, make sure you guys go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and make sure you guys click on the notification bell so that way you guys can get more upcoming videos in the near future. And if there's any videos you guys want me to do a reaction or do a challenge, you can always just leave it on the comment section down below. And if you have any questions for me, you can either leave it on the comment section as well, or you can email me at greatenzo97@gmail.com. And as far as Cyber Magnus goes, I hope one day, sir, Mr. Magnus, you and I, once maybe one of these days, we do a collaboration, whether it's reactions or Q&As, whatever it is, I'm down for it. So you just let me know. Alright guys, well, until next time. Oh, I'm gonna use Magnus's one of his old school catchphrases. So this one's for you, Magnus. 1 million subscribers. Woo! Peace out.